Nuvens recommends encrypting traffic between WSM and the clients. For this purpose, we will need to add a network load balancer in front of the appliance to enable HTTPS with an SSL certificate. The setup requires three main objects. First, the SSL certificate, which we created in a previous video. Two, the target group. And lastly, the load balancer. We will start with the target group. When creating a target group, we will specify an instance as a target type and choose a name. We will change the protocol to TCP, not HTTP, and we will leave port 80 for now. And choose our VPC. A target group must use an available instance as a target backend. We will choose our WSM instance in EC2 and include it as pending below. Finally, we will create the target group. Once created, we can see the target instance is in an unused state because it is not attached to any load balancer. This will be the next step. Now click on the Load Balancers options and click on Create Load Balancer. We will choose the Network Load Balancer, or NLB, and click Create. We need to choose a name and define if the NLB will be internet facing or internal. For this purpose, we recommend setting this to be internal. Next, we need to add the network mappings of the VPC and subnets of which the NLB will reside. We recommend a minimum of 2 availability zones for redundancy. On the Listeners and Routing section, we will forward the TCP/80 entry to our newly created target group. We will also add a new listener for HTTPS, choosing protocol TLS and port 443. When adding a TLS endpoint, we will also have to provide an SSL certificate to use from our AWS Certificate Manager, or ACM. We will now create the load balancer, which may take a couple of minutes to be provisioned. In the meantime, we will copy the DNS name of the new network load balancer, which will be required afterwards for our DNS as an alias record. In the Listeners tab, we will now remove the TCP/80 entry since we do not want traffic to flow unencrypted, only HTTPS traffic. Now we will create the record name, which will be the URL users use to connect to WSM. It is important that your SSL certificate name created in the previous video matches the record name. In this example, we use AWS Route 53, but all DNS providers have a similar interface to create records. We will add the record name, record type as CNAME, and paste the value copied from the step before. Now we will give it some time to replicate. We can now verify that the record is resolvable by its name and pointing to the CNAME record of the network load balancer. Providing everything is correct, your WSM portal will be published through the load balancer, offloading the SSL certificate. Finally, we can check the validity of the certificate here.